Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, I'm trying to upload this video again. Fuck you, OBS. I hate you so much. Guys, listen, it's my fault. I should check audio and videos before I upload them, but when I literally change no settings in OBS, but just randomly sometimes when I turn it on, it just does not have the same settings with the mic selected. It kills me inside. It makes no sense to me how it even happens, but yeah, it kills me. It's my fault. I should have checked it anyway. Sorry about that. Here's the real video, though. We're going to go through all the new Manadome cards down below. I'll give you my thoughts on them, and then let me know your thoughts on the new cards down in the comments below. So let's jump into this thing. Starting off here, we have Manadome Ruinheart, new, Visas Starfrost archetype, by the way, if you don't know. Revealed today. This is a level 4 light warrior, 1521. This tends to be a very relevant stat line now. We saw the new card, the new fusion last night that needs any monster with 1521 stat line, as well as a couple cards in this archetype as well have that same factor, which is really cool. So first and second effects, hard once per turn. If this card is in the hand during the main phase, quick effect, target a monster, a Manadome monster or any monster with 1521. You control, destroy that monster, and if you do, special summon this card. So it extends itself out, but it has to pop pretty specific stuff. But you'll see, as far as popping the Manadome stuff, you get stuff in return for that. And secondly, if this card's normal or special summon, add a Manadome card from deck to hand. There's some cool cards later on. We'll see what that gets you. But yeah, just the evolution of Stratos is here really being shown off in full force. It's not just good enough to make a normal summon that's a Stratos. We got to make an extender that then searches you. That's modern day power creep for you. Let's continue. Moving on, we have Manadome Hairless. This is a level 2 Earth Fairy Tuner effect monster. So this is a synchro strategy. 0 attack, 2000 defense, big booty. You can only special summon this card by its first effect once per turn. If you control a Visas Starfrost or a 1521 monster, you can special summon this card from the hand. Just jumps out, which is pretty cool. So whether it's Visas or one of the 1521s, just pops right out of the hand. We've seen this also become a thing over the last couple of years in Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami used to never make tuner extenders. They thought tuners were too crucial to synchros, too powerful. They are the integral part of synchros. We can't make them too good. We got to make good stuff around them, and these are kind of the bricks. But we've been seeing Konami kind of go out and make some actual tuner extenders more and more. And again, another little thing of power creep for Yu-Gi-Oh! Second effect is if this card is destroyed, period, pretty much, you can special summon another Hairless from your deck, and then during the battle phase this turn, synchro monsters gain 500 attack. I don't really care about the 500 attack. I mean, I guess it could be good in very specific scenarios, but whole thing is, if you're going to destroy this card to special summon Ruinheart, you can then trigger this card to summon another one out of the deck. So you still just replace it immediately, which is pretty damn cool. And then your Ruinheart searches, and you're cooking. You're in a good spot. Moving on, Manadome Meek. This is another level 2 water fairy tuner. 0 attack, 1800 fetch. Again, another solid booty on a level 2. You can only special summon this card by the first effect once per turn. Also, by the way, this is an archetype with 2 level 2 extenders. This could be you could actually supplement some sort of sprite stuff in here. Who knows? Yeah, so same thing. It has the exact same summoning condition, just Visas or a 1521 pops out of the hand. And if this card's destroyed, you can special summon a Manadome Meek from your deck, then increase the level. You can increase the level of the monster summoned by 2. So you can choose to modulate levels. That's really cool. All those synchros, you'll see there are certain patterns in synchro decks. And the 2s are really powerful because with level 2 synchros, a lot of decks have a bunch of level 4s. Level 4s are some of the best monsters in the game. So if it's a level 2 and a 4, you make a 6. 6s are okay, but if you're a 4 and a 4, you're looking at an 8. An 8 is a very good number for synchros. So is 10. So if you actually have a 6 and a 2, it's an 8, but then if you go to a 4, you're a 6 and a 4 for a 10, and 10 has some very powerful synchros as well. So it's a pretty good level number, I think, for both of these. They're tuner extenders. They float when they're destroyed, which opens you up to play some other cards in the deck as well. Pretty cool overall, I think. Moving on here, we move to the one synchro monster revealed for the archetype. That's Manadome Prime-Heart, a level 10 light fairy synchro. 3k, 3k for the stats, pretty big. He takes any tuner, but he does need a light non-tuner to be able to be made, so keep that in mind. Not fully generic, but still pretty generic. If this card, this card can attack a number of times each battle phase equal to the number of tuners as material. That's normally going to be like maybe 2. I doubt it would really be 3 very often, but I guess it could be. That's fine. Applies a lot of pressure in the battle phase. Decent. If this Synchro Summon card using a Manadome tuner as material cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects, that's okay. It's not amazing, just targeting protection. It's fine. It's not the best protection in the world, but it's, you know, as a bonus effect, it's okay. And the third effect, if this face-up Synchro Summon card leaves the field due to your opponent, so that's battle or card effect, you can special summon a Visas or a 15/21 from your grave or banish zone. That's a solid float, but it's really not a good card. I mean, this card is so passive. Aside from like the ability to go battle phase with it and attack 2 or 3 times, this card is just so passive. I look at this card and I'm like, how often am I choosing to make this card over Baron de Fleur, over Cheng Ying, Sword Soul Cheng Ying, even Satellite Warrior, you know? Just making Satellite Warrior and popping cards if you're making it with a Synchro tuner. Like, you almost might prefer that in scenarios. So, I don't know. This card just seems like so meh. I just really don't feel it from this card. I just think there are way better 10s you could be making other than this card, to be honest. So, this is the first, like, letdown card for me in the archetype so far. And then we get into some spells here. Manadome Imagining, it's a normal spell, 2 hard once per turn effects. Reveal a Manadome or a Visas monster in your hand as cost. Draw 2 cards, then return a card from your hand to the bottom of the deck. This is cool. It's cool draw power. I like that it doesn't have to return the monster you reveal. It gives you better selection for that. So, you know, you could just return whatever the worst card in your hand is. It doesn't have to be those. You just have to show them, which is cool. And you can also banish this card from your graveyard to target a 15/21 on the field, and that monster is treated as a tuner until the end of the turn. That's fine. That could actually come up with certain synchro lines, but not crazy. It could be randomly good in specific situations, though. And then we move to Manadome Abscission as a normal spell card. 2 hard once per turn effects is, again, target a monster you control as cost. Destroy it. And if you do, add a Primal Planet Calarium from your deck to your hand. Or, if you already control a Primal Planet Calarium, you can add a Manadome Spell or Trap card from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of itself. That's really cool. I like that second stipulation. When a card searches one specific card, it's a once per turn or whatever. You always look at that and you're like, if you draw both, it's just straight up dead. But this card gives you access to any of the other spells and traps in the archetype. That's really nice. Yeah, this is a pretty cool card. I like this. I don't love that it has to destroy the monster to get the search. You have to destroy your own monster. I mean, this does trigger the tuner, so the tuners will get you another body out. So it's not really bad in that regard, but it's not perfect for sure. But it's still an okay card. You can also banish this card from your graveyard to special summon a Visas or a 15/21 from hand. That's particularly cool because the field spell searches either of those. Because it can search the guy above, whatever his name is, Ruinheart or whatever it is, or Visas, and then so you could search it off this, and then without having to use their effect to lose a monster on field, you can just pull them out of the hand with this effect, or just leave it in grave so that down the road it could be a good extender for you in a later turn. That's kind of cool as well. Moving on from there, we have the field spell itself, Primal Planet Calarium. You can only activate once per turn, and the third effect is also a once per turn. When this card resolves, you can add a Manadome monster or a Visas from your deck to your hand. Super standard. Light monsters you control gain 100 attack for each tuner you control and in the grave. That's not bad. That could easily be up to like a 500 boost or more, depending on how long the duel goes on for. So that's not terrible. And the third effect, if a face-up tuner you control is destroyed, you can target one of those monsters and special summon it. So this even more so becomes really cool for the deck, because doing these lines where you're like destroying Hairless or Meek off of your Ruinheart or your Abscission to like get you into other parts, get you into more searches. Not only do they summon off their own effects to get another one out from deck, but then the field spell also just reborns it back to the field. So you get the you never even actually lose the monster and you get another one. So you actually go like +2 in that scenario, which is very cool, especially on top of the fact that we have Abscission. So you can technically play like up to 7 copies of this card in the deck. That's pretty dang solid, I think. And then we finish up with 2 trap cards here. The first one is Breakheart. It's a normal trap, 2 hard once per turn effects. Target 1 tuner or synchro in your graveyard. Special summon it. Then if you special summoned a light monster with this effect, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls with equal or lower attack than that monster. That's very cool. First off, that's a non-targeting destruction if you get to resolve the destruction effect. But even so, just being a generic trap card, normal trap that just reborns any tuner or synchro, is actually pretty spicy. I actually like this quite a bit. For sure. I mean, I even think about, isn't TG Wonder Magician a light? It's either a light or a wind, I think. If it's light, you could literally like reborn, like you could have used it as a, like to synchro climb. You could have literally like summoned it to like pop a, and then like summon it back, pop a monster that's smaller than it, because I think it's 1900 attack, so you could definitely hit something there, and then use its effect to pop a back row, and it'd be on field to do a quick synchro later on. So like stuff like that, or maybe something like a Coral Dragon where you may have used it as a synchro climb tool turn 1 to draw a card, reborn it and pop a monster to then when you use it as a synchro material again, get another draw, and you're just getting a ton of value, and it's an interruption. This card's pretty cool. Its second effect says if a Visas or a 15/21 would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from graveyard instead. Cool. They're very specific cards on your field, though. You know, so your opponent would kind of have to play into this. This doesn't protect any synchro, any tuner, or anything. It's only just really going to be Ruinheart or Visas, or I guess if you're playing like another build with like Scareclaw stuff, and like it could protect Reichardt in that scenario. But, you know, it's still, that could come up, I guess. It's fine. But the main effect obviously is good enough on its own. So really cool generic card, but also really nice for the archetype because it's uber searchable. And the last card here is Manadome Reframing. Counter trap, 2 hard once per turn effects. When any effect is activated, monster, spell, or trap is activated while you control a synchro monster, negate the activation. Then if there's a Visas or a 15/21 on your field or graveyard, you can you can destroy the negated card. Excuse me. So that's cool. You do need to have a synchro on field to make it live, so that's like the one question about it. But you know, after that, it's a searchable Omni Negate, so if your deck doesn't make Omni Negate super easy, it does protect you from the Lightning Storms, the Evenly Matches of the world, so that's really nice. And as long as, and you know, most of your plays should go through either Visas or a 15/21, which should make this card able to negate and destroy, not just negate, which is very good as well. Second effect says you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 3 Manadome monsters in grave, return them to the deck. Very cool as well. Nothing too crazy there. It doesn't draw. We've seen a lot of these effects that do this, like reset your resources from grave, but don't get you a draw, and it just makes them like meh. If it drew, we'd be like, woo, that's awesome. But it doesn't, so it's just okay. But still, a fine counter trap. This could be a card you don't even main, but maybe you side it at 1 for when you're going first, and you just want to have like a stop any blowout kind of card to be able to be super searchable, and that could be pretty cool for sure. So yeah, there we go. There's the new archetype. I really think there is some good potential here. I love Ruinheart. I like both the tuners. Don't love them, but I like them. The synchro's pretty bad, and that's one thing we'll have to see. Now there's no restriction on this archetype whatsoever, so the entire pool of tuners, any other synchro supportive engine could be open. I think the Scareclaw variant could be interesting as well. There's definitely some open stuff there for sure. The spells are solid. You know, all the field spells in this lore are like insane, and even the traps are solid. So I don't know. It's cool. We'll have to see. I think it's going to come down to right now, 1, what can we combine with this to make it work? Because it doesn't feel like it's enough on its own to really be like a fully comprehensive, like good competitive strategy. So it probably needs to combine with something else. And the other thing would be, like, look at Kashtira. Like, we got the first wave of Kashtira stuff, and it was like, oh, these are splashable. These are good splashable cards in a deck, generically. And then we got the second wave, we were like, whoa, this pure Kashtira deck is like a tier 1 meta threat now. Whoa! And it combines with tier to be a meta like meta decks. So we're going to have to see. It'll probably come down to what the next wave looks like, because they've done it with Scareclaw. The Link 1 broke that deck wide open. We've seen it with Kashtira. Their second wave makes them like a fully comprehensive strategy, and so on and so forth. So we'll have to see where they go with the Monadomes, but they're really cool. I'm very excited to see where they go. Hopefully they get some better in-archetype synchros. Would be really cool, but we'll obviously have to see where Konami goes with that. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, leave me your thoughts down below on any of these cards, any synergies that I didn't mention here that might already exist with stuff in the game, or where you want them to go with the future support. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that down below. But I'm out of here for today, guys. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I'll catch you in the next video. Apologies on the misupload there. It's my fault. It's also my computer's fault. I'm sorry. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.